Hey guys, what's going on? Hey, I haven't seen you in a couple days, but look, today's video I want to talk about how I got to lawn care. And to do that, I wanted to bring you back to my old neighborhood. And I'm going to show you all the places I grew up and how I got to where I am now. First place, obviously you can look around and see. This street is where I learned to ride my bike, okay? So, right there is where I took my first wreck, right by that crack. How do I remember it? Well, it's easy. We lived right here. Until I was 8 years old, this is where we lived. And down the street here, you'll notice those are homes. For us, growing up in the half doubles, we thought, man, those people that own those homes are rich. You know, when you're a little boy, you're thinking, wow, you go by and you see all the nice fancy houses. But this was where I first grew up. From the time I was an infant until I was 8 years old, right here. Rode my little Hot Wheels, or what's them, green machines, right down that driveway. And hey, I'm going to take you guys on a little journey today and show you how I ended up where I ended up. And only by the grace of God did I end up where I ended up. And hey, let's go on to where I really spent the next 5 years of my life and into my early teen years. So I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I'm going to bring you to the second place I lived, and you can look around. This is when we thought we were really, you know, I was a kid still and I didn't know, you know, about anything really. But up until the age of 12, I lived right here. Or I'm sorry, the age of 9. This is where I lived. And these were our neighbors, and very nice people. And we knew the guy that lived there, and went to school with a girl that lived over here on the corner. And you know, it's sad to see how the place has kind of fallen apart over the years, but that's what happens sometimes. And you know, from here on out, I'm gonna really get into how did I get where I'm at. And that's, everybody asks me that question. I like, man, you know, how did you make it from this to that? And I'll tell you all about it, and I'll tell you, you know, it wasn't good, okay? It wasn't good, so I'll be right back. Okay guys, so this is where it all happened. I don't know if you guys ever remember back to when you were a kid, your very ever first fist fight. Mine happened exactly right here. The neighborhood bully, so to speak, and me kind of got into it. I blacked his eye, he broke my nose, and I'll show you where I lived. Now there's a guy checking out, looking at me, because these people around here are a little, you know, they're a little, they don't want nobody in their space, man. But this house right over here is where I grew up. And I used to ride my dirt bike down that street. It's the first time the police pulled me over. Wouldn't be the last. And me and my buddy Jerry would ride our bikes up and down this street, down through here. But this is my neighborhood, and my neighbors, it was a old couple, Mr. and Mrs. Story. He was a blind gentleman, had a huge garden, and I would ride my dirt bike all over the place, and his wife would just go nuts would you tell that boy to stop turning that dirt bike on it? And he would say, let him be a kid. He was such a nice man. I had so much respect for him. Unfortunately, they found him and his wife deceased in their home one day, and it was just broke my heart as a kid. So yeah, I told you guys, well, some of you know, some of you don't. I was homeless before I started my business, way before I started it. I remember coming home, and if you can see the porch, I pulled into the drive, and all my stuff was on that porch. Everything I had. What wasn't much, a couple bags, and my dad was sitting on a rocker outside. And I said, well, you know, what's going on here? He's like, hey, buddy, you lived here till you were 17. Time to get on your own. And I said, but I don't have any place to go. He said, you got a pickup, and you got the bed of your pickup. It's a lot more than I had. So I pulled out of this neighborhood around 4:45 in the afternoon. About a year, about 9-10 months short of my 18th birthday. And I drove up the street, had something to eat, and I sat in the parking lot for about, I don't know, 15, 18 hours, slept. You know, when you're young, and I thought it was a big game, okay? I thought, man, this is a big game. There's no way he's kicking me out. He's going to let me come back. So I drove back the next day, and I said, hey, I get it. I got the point, you know. And he said, you don't get the point. He said, you don't live here anymore. He said, get the hell down the road. Change the locks on me and everything. I was homeless for about 4 months, okay? That was the first time I was homeless. First time. But this is where I spent most of my time, guys. Up and down through here. I'll take you around, show you the neighborhood. Nothing exciting. Was not a great neighborhood. We didn't know any better. We thought we had money, but we were poor. And, you know, didn't matter to us. Had good friends. My friend Jerry, who comes in my live stream every once in a while, one of the best friends I've ever had. And, you know, you didn't know that you were poor, but you knew it when you went to other neighborhoods. You just knew it. And, you know, we wore the parachute pants, the mullets. We didn't know, man. We were just poor kids. Anyway, let's go check something else out. I'll be right back. Real quick, guys. For those of you who enjoy dirt bikes and ATVs and all that kind of stuff, this is where I learned to ride a dirt bike. So I didn't have no track. I didn't have no hills. I didn't have nothing. I just got out on this sucker every day and went as fast down and as fast up as I could and went through people's yards. And we had a rock right here at the end of the road, and we would jump that with our bikes and all this and that. So I just had to show you that. But this all has a point, man. And you can see places are a little broken down. You know, not a fancy neighborhood here. And just it's not a great area. Now we thought it was good when we were kids. Like I said, man, it's where we grew up. So once I left here, I found an apartment with my buddy in a nicer part of town. And then I went for many years living in mobile homes, and trust me, they were not nice mobile homes. No heat, no air. Well, we had heat, but no air. I took many jobs. I worked many jobs. I lived paycheck to paycheck. I did anything and everything I could to make a buck. After a while, And I would say probably once I was 18, I turned to alcohol, fighting, bar fights, whatever have you. A lot of guys I grew up with turned to drugs. Some of them are no longer around. Some of them are in jail. I myself went to jail twice. Went to jail twice. And I never cared really, because I thought it's just what we do here. You know, this is a part of town where you don't talk smack. If you talk about somebody and they find out, they're coming to your house and they're dealing with you. Whether it's fighting, knives, guns, whatever it was, they're going to deal with you. So you didn't run your mouth to people. You know, it seems since I've been on YouTube, there's a lot of this. You can make a fake account and you can go after somebody for everything they've done in life, and you try to make them feel bad, and you try to lay a guilt trip on them, or here's the best one. You get other people not to like them, subscribe to them, or see them as a bad person. I came from a whole different world than a lot of you guys did on YouTube. I don't hide behind fake accounts. I come out and say what I have to say. If people don't like me, I never really cared about that anyway. I always wanted to be judged on my work. Now I notice in YouTube, not a lot of people want to be judged by their work. They want to be judged by this false facade of who they pretend to be on YouTube. But that's neither here nor there. What I'm trying to tell you guys is, after my time in jail, I was homeless. 25 years old, homeless. I lived in a $50 car. Okay, this doesn't look like a $50 car. I don't know about you guys. Okay? If you look around this neighborhood, you're not going to see too many nice vehicles. I learned a huge lesson, and I think going to jail was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it finally woke me up. The first time was a slap on the wrist, and I thought, no big deal. The second time, I was in trouble. And that's when I realized I was never going to be anything until I picked myself up and I stopped with this mentality. The mentality of, I'm nothing. This is how I'm supposed to live because this is how I grew up. You guys, you can't do that to yourselves. And let me tell you something else you can't do to yourselves. You can't doubt yourself. You can't listen to naysayers. If I listened to every person on YouTube and what they thought of me, I wouldn't get out of bed in the morning. I don't care, because I know me, and my close friends know me, and the people who are really close to me know who I am as a person. And everyone on YouTube can judge me all they want, but it doesn't change where I came from, what I am now, and who I am as a person now. That's the one thing, guys. If you're thinking about getting into YouTube, if you're thinking about starting a lawn care business, don't let anyone's thoughts of you change your mind. Because if you live with them and their thoughts in your head, you'll never have the space to become who you can be. Let me tell you, man, I have become such a better person. Do I still have a temper? Of course, I was born with one. I'm Italian, okay? Do I still call BS BS? Absolutely. I see it everywhere. But I'm going to tell you something I learned in YouTube. You can't fight it. You can't fight it. Because they brainwash people into believing stuff that isn't true. And you're not going to change that. Anyway, once I left this neighborhood, I did a little bit of time in jail. I was at the point when I was 27 years old, or 26, that I thought, man, I'm never going to be anything, because I listened to everybody tell me, you can't be this because you did this. I got a job working with a tool company and a nail supply company that builds homes. Started there at $7.15 an hour, worked my way up to $40,000 a year. Friend of mine said, girl I was dating said, Shane, you're never going to be anything working for someone else. I took a push mower and a broom. I called on the nail customers that I sold to. I said, hey, would you mind if I cut your grass? I asked 50 people and I got 2 yeses. 50! 2 yeses. My dad and I were talking again at this point because my dad had a heart attack. I went to see him. We kind of mended fences. I said, Dad, can I borrow your mower? It was a little red with the white wheels. I borrowed it. I worked weekends. I pulled weeds for $10 an hour. I did whatever I had to do to succeed because this was not an option to come back to. When you leave yourself an option, you will fail every time. To me, I didn't want this. I don't want the fighting. I don't want the complaining, the constant drama. I don't want it. People bring it to you. You have no other choice than to deal with it. Now, this kind of goes with my YouTube thing. I've made a lot of mistakes in YouTube. I've said a lot of things. I've done a lot of things. But at least I never hid behind anything. And for those of you who continue to want to bring an innocent blind woman into your problem with me, there's got to be something not right with you. And guys, if you're out there and you started a business and you're doing well, congratulations. I never had anything easy. Why? Because mainly I made it hard on myself. I made the wrong decisions. Make the right choices. Make the right decisions. You guys can rise above anything that they say about you. And whoever says it about you, you have to know they are jealous that you have stepped out and decided to do better for yourself. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope maybe somebody out there who's a felon, who had a drug problem, who is homeless or was homeless, who did some bad things in their past can understand you don't have to be that person. You do not have to live under that. You can rise above it. You can be a better man, a better woman, and you can make something for yourself in this life. I certainly did, and I will continue to do that. And those who are with me, and those who aren't just are against me. And that's okay. I've had people against me my whole life. I've had people say, Shane, how can you put up with so much on YouTube? Are you kidding me? That's nothing. Have a guy that's 5'10", weighs 200 pounds knock on your door, and you're about 5'4", weighing about 130, and he's going to tell you he's going to whip you all over the road. And there ain't nobody to protect you, boy. Let me tell you something. Ain't nobody going to protect you out here. So, what I get on YouTube ain't nothing, man. And it's nothing to you either. If you're strong in your mind and you're strong in your heart, you got this. Guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Get out there. If you're thinking about starting your business, start your business. Don't let anybody drag you down. Keep focused, and we can do this together. 2021 is going to be a great year. I love you guys. Have a great day. As always, I am Dr. Real, and I am in the house. Peace. I'll see you guys tomorrow.